Family who've been longtime residents of our county to the museum. It's just a wonderful match made in heaven.
And now we get 80,000 visitors a year who are going to be able to enjoy it.
Disaster can strike at any moment. Whether it's a winter snowstorm, summer wildfire, or an earthquake, being ready is our best line of defense. San Bernardino County knows that we're stronger together, so we're asking you to prepare with us. Visit prepare.sbcounty.gov to equip yourself with knowledge. Sign up for emergency alerts or download our Ready SB County app. Learn how to create a family plan, assemble an emergency kit, and more. Preparedness is a responsibility we all share, and preparedness starts here. Discover why there's so much to love in San Bernardino County by visiting love.sbcounty.gov.
Today, we're touring high school campuses around San Bernardino, meeting with students, teachers, and career pathway programs who are helping prepare the next generation of San Bernardino County's workforce.
10 years ago, the members of the Board of Education had this vision for the career and technical education pathways to prepare students for college and the workforce.
The Workforce Development Department can help county departments who are interested in providing work experience learning opportunities to a youth worker by helping to facilitate placement opportunities and paying participant wages.
The goal of the CTE pathways is to prepare our students to industry standards to be absolutely prepared to enter the workforce the day after high school graduation.
We have a variety of CTE pathways, from business to construction. We have a digital media and arts academy. We have a lot of different pathways for the students to choose from.
When I was in high school, it very much was you have this set list of classes that you get the grades in, you'll get your diploma. These CTE programs are much more focused on helping students build those skills for those next steps in their life.
We're really blessed to have a lot of access to multiple modalities. You can come in after school and work with athletes. You can go out onto the field and work with athletes there too. It's just multiple skills, critical thinking that we learned in this program that carry out through life.
Where before we'd have to pay like upwards of 100 grand and such just to learn those skills, to where now, like in high school, the students are actually leaving with 21st century skills and like job skills and things that they could use right away.
I chose this pathway because the dental industry has always been like a passion of mine. I think that it's really helpful, it's really beneficial because it gives us the hands-on learning that we need. We already know a lot more than what a normal person going into that field would know.
We have 8 fully functional dental units. We have a fully functional infection control area.
Classroom spaces that we have created are even a cut above the private sector.
I'm always talking about this beautiful building, so there'll be great candidates for all those positions or future positions that will open in our county.
I like the teachers, I like all the tools, the trucks that we have. Technically everything that we have here in this pathway, I love.
The opportunities that we have here, like taking certifications, is just things I would not have had without this academy. And the teacher is a really good motivator. He's been the mentor that I have been hoping to have.
These practical approaches in CTE and how we approach learning in CTE has really changed the game for the future workforce. And I can't wait to see what my students do next.
The county's Workforce Development Department and our coordinator, Chelsea Ramirez, have developed this system for our students to earn an internship certificate. San Bernardino County can hire them directly out of school.
The partnership is great, and the students in San Bernardino City Unified are absolutely spectacular. Our students want to stay local to their families, and being able to partner with San Bernardino County Workforce for our students to compete for San Bernardino County jobs is incredible.
I have a lot of family in San Bernardino County. I plan to stay in San Bernardino County the rest of my life, so I felt like this was the best option for me.
This partnership could potentially change not only the trajectory of our students' lives, but also the trajectory of the city.
We're extremely excited, and that continues on with the vision of having our kids stay right here in the county of San Bernardino, where the money stays here, the brilliance stays here, and our community starts to rise.
The county is helping to ensure that the next generation has the skills and work experience they need to land the career of their dreams and support our economy.
During a major disaster, staying informed is crucial. Sign up for the San Bernardino County Telephone Emergency Notification System, TENS, to receive emergency alerts for your area. TENS alerts are sent via phone and text, providing you with critical updates such as evacuation warnings and orders. Simply register with a valid San Bernardino County address. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now at oes.sbcounty.gov. Connect with us, stay prepared, stay informed.
It's an honor to be here today to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Glen Helen Parkway Bridge project.
This is really going to impact not just the local community, but the region. It's important that we listen to our residents. Our residents say, why is this not finished? And it's important that we address those issues.
This is a brand new 4-lane bridge that crosses the Cajon Wash, and it connects to the former bridge that was already here. This is going to create a great new traffic flow, traffic pattern for all the residents in this area.
It's being built with local lifestyle in mind, including multi-use pathways that are horse trail friendly and designated bike lanes and sidewalks.
This $52.2 million funded project is a collaborative effort with our federal partners, our regional transportation partners, and then there's a county match involved, and County Public Works will see this through to fruition.
We're going to be working with the county closely and making sure that we are here to provide all the assistance to make sure the project is delivered.
I will thank in advance our residents for their patience as we start construction. There will be inconveniences, but we will do our best to minimize those. We will always have access through this area.
This is an investment for the community. This is making sure that they have better transit. We look at our police and fire are going to have better access routes. People could come to our regional parks and see the great things that we're doing, the great investments. That means more people coming to the county of San Bernardino to enjoy the beautiful amenities that we have here.
I am so excited that people are going to find it easier to get in and out of Glen Helen Regional Park, whether they're coming here for just a day at the swim facility, a picnic with friends, or if they're coming here for a large concert.
For the next 2 years, we will be working very hard to complete this project so we can have this improved, safer road for all of the community.
San Bernardino County constituents have been saying for over the years they need help with having affordable vaccines provided for them, as well as spays and neuters. Our Animal Cares Mobile Services does provide services such as vaccines, microchipping. We also have our licensing department here with us.
San Bernardino County is huge, so having a mobile unit lets us get out and give services to every corner of our county.
This mobile unit will be operating here at the shelter for the shelter pets before they're adopted, as well as into the community of the unincorporated areas of San Bernardino.
Honestly, it is very convenient. The wait time is very helpful, like it's fast.
It's been terrific, yeah. It's very smooth, organized, so far seamless, yeah.
I think the county should provide more services to the people that live here. It's very helpful for those who can't really afford it.
You can get basically all the services you need, you can get connected to here. We have lists for low-cost clinics, for follow-up care. We can get you basically started on the right track with your animal.
We have had a lot of positive feedback. You can see it in their eyes as well as their animals that they are very happy that they're able to come in their own neighborhood and get these services provided for them.
For services for this mobile unit, please just make sure that you check out our social media for San Bernardino Animal Care as well as our website. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to provide this for our constituents, and we're super happy to get this started, and it's been a long time coming.
The San Bernardino County Fire Hazard Abatement Program is administered by code enforcement under the authority of County Fire. We proactively identify fire hazards throughout all regions of the county to create defensible space for first responders and to help reduce the effect of wildfires.
It's important that county residents are aware of the Fire Hazard Abatement Program and understand that proactive measures are necessary to protect your home and your neighbors and your community.
We conduct seasonal inspections looking for various fire hazards, hoping to improve defensible space to protect first responders and provide overall safety of the community.
Residents can minimize hazards on their property by taking home hardening techniques, creating defensible space, and reducing hazardous fuels around their home. Doing self-inspections of their properties, ensuring that there's no flammable debris or combustibles that need to be removed further away from your residence, and or maintaining the vegetation that grows on your property.
Community safety starts with all of us. When property owners do their part to maintain their properties, it strengthens our collective ability to protect families, neighborhoods, and first responders from the effects of wildfire.
Today we are opening up the museum to our Kids Club members. Kids Club is a special part of our membership that allows children to have exclusive access to certain events here at the museum, alongside some special treats that have been aligned with special partnerships within our community.
All of our Kids Club members receive their own t-shirt provided by One Love IE. They get a scoop of ice cream from Blappert's Ice Cream, 50% off general admission to the museum for themselves and a guardian.
There will be pizza parties where our education team, like myself, will be hosting some special activities, and also included throughout the year will be special STEAM Lab access days.
We're really launching the Kids Club in earnest with our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. This year at Buckyball, we raised enough money for 120 scholarships for Boys and Girls Club students.
It is completely life-changing for a lot of these kids. Like, some of our kids have had the amazing opportunity to come here before, but not every school gets the opportunity to come here on a field trip. So for you guys to open your doors to us, the Boys and Girls Club, it just helps you have a bigger reach, and it helps them experience things that they may not have otherwise been able to experience.
I like how everyone's so interactive and how we get free stuff like the ice cream, and we get to walk around and have fun with games.
It's been extremely fun. The kids are learning about all of the different types of prehistoric animals that existed here, and we absolutely love the Lappert's ice cream. They were extremely generous.
As a small business owner, we really wouldn't be where we are without the support of local families. So anything that I could do, this is kind of like my way of giving back a little bit.
We've been really excited to launch Kids Club because we think it's going to bring a new element of engagement to the museum. We want to make sure that kids understand that this museum is for them, that we do things here that are fun, that are interesting, and that hopefully connect them a little closer to our natural history and to our local history as well.
The SPARK program is a program that was designed with the mindset of giving gainful employment to community youth and foster youth across this county. It's also providing an incredible opportunity for so many young adults to learn about what public service is, to learn about different occupations and career pathways. They're being paired up with mentors and coaches. We had approximately 1,200 youth apply for the opportunity to be part of the SPARK program. Out of that, 131 were selected. There were 80.
Good morning. I would like to call this meeting to order and thank you all for joining us today. Our Pledge of Allegiance and invocation will be presented by the 4th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to introduce Reverend Ruben Esponda, who has served as pastor of the Montclair First United Methodist Church. Recently, he was appointed to the LA Trinidad United Methodist Church in East Los Angeles. He has served as a pastor for United Methodist Church since 2009, serving United Methodist churches in Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Bernardino County. Reverend Esponda lives in Ontario with his wife, who has been married since 1993. They have 3 sons and 2 grandkids, and they enjoy traveling. Thank you, Reverend, for joining us today. Please join us up front.
Thank you for the opportunity that you've given me to lead you in prayers. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I invite you to be in an attitude of prayer. Eternal and loving Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here, for our supervisors, for our citizens. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings for all of us. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. And thank you for the ability to be involved in useful works and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for loving us, even so from your boundless and gracious nature. In the scripture, you says that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our supervisors, for all of the levels of our county and city and state officials. We ask, Lord, your wisdom to govern and to resolve conflicts. Thank you, Lord, for the confidence in what is good and the ability to work together in harmony. Be with all of us, giving us, O Lord, peace. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in this wonderful county. In your most blessed name, in the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. And now I invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to our memorial adjournments. Vice Chair Baca.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I do have an adjourn in memory today of Kim Browder. She was a business support manager for the First Five of San Bernardino, and as a commissioner of the First Five, today we honor the memory of our colleague, Kim Browder, who recently passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. Kim was more than just a coworker. She was a source of kindness, strength, and inspiration to everyone who had the privilege of working with her. Her dedication, warm spirit, and resilience left a lasting impression on the First Five team, but also the community for the great work she did. She had a strong faith in God and was a member of the Greater Victory Church, where she was involved with youth and shared her care with others. We extend our deepest condolences to her and her family and her loved ones during this difficult time. Kim will be deeply missed, but her legacy and compassion and perseverance will remain with us in the First Five family. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Armendariz. Paul? All right, very well. We do not have any special presentations today, so we will move on to our reports from County Council. Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no reportable items from closed session.
And from our CEO, Luther?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one thing I wanted to share. So I am excited to share that our airports director, Brett Godown, has earned the prestigious Accredited Airport Executive designation. This accreditation, it demonstrates Brett's depth of knowledge in airport management, his professionalism, his commitment to the people and communities we serve, and just his commitment to education and improving himself and putting himself in the best position to best serve and support our airports. So, Brett, congratulations. Thank you for keeping our airports top notch, and well done. And that concludes my reports.
Thank you very much. That brings us to our individual board member comments. Vice Chair Baca.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just have a few events and a couple items to go over. First, just want to congratulate the City of San Bernardino and the San Bernardino County Transit Authority for the successful event they had with the Mount Vernon Bridge opening. This was a $244.8 million investment, and of all the transit agency events I've ever been to, this was the largest event. I think they had over 5,000 people there for a transit event. It was just unprecedented. The community was just so happy. So I just want to congratulate SBCTA and thank my colleagues here for the support of that bridge. Also had the opportunity to attend the South Saavedra field reopening. This office and this board invested almost $1 million in a ball field on the west side of San Bernardino, and it's great to see that, you know, the investments we make from the time we take board action to seeing them finish and seeing them through. This is just a great victory for the city of San Bernardino, but also the county of San Bernardino. I want to thank Public Works for the great work they did. On August 20th, they completed many ADA ramps in our Del Rosa unincorporated community, which is in the center of San Bernardino. Also want to thank, Land Use for going to the Bloomington community and answering questions, and also code being available to answer questions for our community. Also had the opportunity to attend the Shelter Court Drug Treatment event, which was in the city of Colton, and want to thank the city of Colton and the Chief of Police, Chief Vega, for their great partnership to try to get those that are homeless the help that they need, and also to help those that had minor criminal records getting their records expunged so they can help get reintegrated back into society. I think those are great things. Also had the opportunity to visit many of our Head Start preschool services programs, and we provided backpacks and school supplies for many preschool services within our district, and many of those families are very underserved and very poor. Also, we participated in the Arrowhead Farms cleanup. Want to thank, Public Works and Land Use and Code for the great work they did to provide that service for all the individuals in the Arrowhead Farms community. And then also took the time to visit Fire Station 232, which is in the north end of San Bernardino, and spend some time with our local firefighters and really get to hear how they respond and how they respond to many of the calls there on the north end of San Bernardino. We also did a Labor Day recognition. We recognized many of our bargaining units within the county of San Bernardino. Want to congratulate them, and also attended the Basic Law Enforcement Academy. I want to welcome our new deputies to the county of San Bernardino, but also just want to highlight one of the great things that our sheriff's department has done. One of the things they did is they had a consent decree where they were required to meet many state mandates to address the issues in the jails. We're actually the first county in the state of California to have a consent decree with the sheriff's department within the jails. So that's a great victory for our county and for our sheriff's department. Hats off to them. I just want to highlight 2 items on the board agenda. One is item 5. We're actually going to extend our agreement, add additional dollars to provide nutritional meals for our seniors for the city of San Bernardino. That's good for the San Bernardino, especially how tough times are as the cost of living goes up. So I think that's a great thing. I want to thank our county departments, Department of Adult Aging Services for doing that. And the last thing is item 28. What we're doing is we committed $1.5 million from American Rescue Plan Act money to try to help with a wellness center at Indian Springs, which is located in the city of San Bernardino. We know that many of our students are going through trying times, but this is a significant investment, and we want to thank the school district and our county staff and my colleagues for supporting helping our kids get help. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Armendariz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Couple things, we had a pretty exciting, eventful last few weeks. We got interviewed by Yvette Walker and giving her an update on what we're doing at the county, and we also had our second mobile office hour where we came to the community and we set up our office at a local coffee shop, and we're there to serve you. So when our next one happens, if you're a resident of the 2nd District, feel free to stop on by and have some conversation with us. We also partnered with Assessor, Recorder, Clerk Josie Gonzalez and hosted a virtual town hall where we were able to talk to our constituents and give them information that they were not privy to regarding ways that they could either obtain waivers for property tax, or just understand how their property tax bill worked a little bit more. We were able to participate and spoke at the West Side Library for the City of Rancho Cucamonga, where we provided $1.5 million of discretionary for the Gap to help them get that off the ground, and it should be opened hopefully by the winter of 2026. We hosted a Bleed Safe training program through the City of Upland, and taught our staff how to stop wounds and punctures in the body, use tourniquets and stop bleeding methods. Very educational, looking to expand that through the 2nd District. So if you're a 2nd District resident, look forward to seeing something come up about that in the near future. We also attended the Public Safety Recognition Ceremony at the Quake Stadium, where we honored the Rancho Cucamonga Public Safety, everyone from their police, their fire, their animal control, who just do an outstanding job for that city. Also was able to attend the Carpenters Union meeting just to see what they're doing, and also did a stage read for the City of Fontana. They have a podcast with the city manager and Avila. And we also did a bunch of tours. We visited Human Resources, did a tour with Human Resources. We did a tour with Register of Voters. We did a tour with our Agricultural Weights and Measures Purchasing Department, and also California University of Science Medical School tour. And I just want to take a moment to thank all those who were participating in these tours and gave us insight on what they do. And thank you to you and your staff for being so gracious and taking the time to show us how you guys work. Also, we did our 3rd annual open house. It was a huge success. We had more people than we've ever had attend the event. my counterpart here, Joe Baca, showed support and came out and watched what we were doing out there. But I want to really take a moment just to thank all our county staff who showed up and showed what we do. I always tell people that with the county, they don't know what a county supervisor is, let alone what we do. And this is our opportunity to showcase who we are, what we do. And you guys shined like no one else. Like, I was so proud to be part of the county at that open house because you guys were out there working with the kids, showing them the value that the county brings to the community. So just wanted to, on the side note, say thank you for you guys attending and making people aware of how much the county does for the constituents in the 2nd District. That's all.
Thank you. Supervisor Cook. Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll try to make it a little bit quicker here. Let's see, item number 29.2, we're working with the Ontario Montclair Unified School District for the Read, Explore, and Development into Kindercare program. We're allocating $35,000 of our district funds for that. SCAG, there's a lot of grants out there. I know we work with the counties, some of my cities. South Coast AQMD is launching its Invest Clean partnership with AQMD. We're putting out $51.5 million for grants on medium-sized trucks, class 4 and 5. AQMD is actually putting $180+ million out for infrastructure for charging heavy-duty vehicles, infrastructure throughout the district, as well as other buckets of money for clean trucks and other vehicles. This is all part of the Invest Clean program. So if you're interested, look at their websites there. In the district, we've had several events as well. We spoke at the Asian American Hotel Association. I got to share with them how our county is growing, so that was exciting. We attended our summer reading program tablet giveaway, which we have each library in our district have, when the kids read their 5 books, they get a ticket to enter in a drawing, and we pick out the winners for 100 tablets that we give away. And that has the county library 15 million plus access to on their tablets. So they're very excited. Most are very excited. Some of the siblings didn't get one, they get very sad. So it's hard to see that. We were able to celebrate Maglite in Ontario was for this distinguished business, and Tony Magletta, he's still 92, 94. I visited him like 10 years ago. He's still going strong, put in 16-hour days, so he's a very much an inspiration to his work ethic, and his family still runs a Maglite. While not opening in 2026, until 2026, Ontario Sports Empire will soon welcome its new tenant, the Los Angeles Dodgers Single A affiliate. There will be the largest athletic complex west of the Mississippi opening up in 2026. So the team will host a free community celebration at 5:30 on Thursday, September 18th at the Ontario Town Square. So if you're a Dodger fan, come on out. It's going to unveil its name, mascot, and merchandise. The evening will feature live music, a drone show, and special appearances, kicking off the countdown to opening day at the new stadium in April next year. My office will hold its next shredding event on September 27th from 9 to 12 until the trucks are full at Upland. You can visit the website to sign up for that. That's actually one of our more popular events. And then Ontario Resource Fair will also be held on September 27th, 10 to 2 at Bombview Park, and our office will be attendance to share about county resources. That's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Lena, do we have any revisions or changes to today's agenda?
Hi, good morning, Chair Rao. Yes, we have 2 changes today. Item number 5 is being taken off calendar, and item number 77 is being revised. Recommendation 1 is revised to add in the amount of approximately $10,000 annually to the terms of the agreement. Those are all the changes I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to our board member conflicts of interest. Now is the time to disclose. I believe that Supervisor Cook and I have disclosures to make. I will be abstaining on item number 59. Bear Valley Electric donated $1,000 to my campaign on December 30th in 2024.
And I also have the same exact thing. And I'm pleased to announce that we finally agree on something.
Thank you very much. And with that, we will move on to our consent calendar, which today consists of items number 2 through 81. Do we have any board members wishing to pull an item? No, I would just like, before we take public comment, I would like to highlight item number 67, another topic that Supervisor Cook and I agree on. We have Matt Knox and Demarius Carmichael, the Deputy of Veterans Affairs and our Chief Veterans Affairs. They do a tremendous job in that department. And Demarius and Matt, I see you up there. I wanted to thank you very much for all of your hard work. We don't get to see you here very often, so welcome this morning and thank you for that agenda item. So now we will move on to speakers. Our first up is Catherine Ungos, followed by Carlo. We have podiums on either side in the back. Our public comment period is 3 minutes. When it becomes a 30-second warning, the light will flash yellow and then it will flash red at the end of the 3 minutes. Either side up at the top.
This one?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm speaking here because a lot of money is going to protect our children, and the difference between abuse of a man abusing children and women abusing children. I'd like to see what, if there is any difference there, if you guys would consider that, because a lot of investigations that are occurring right now are not occurring. The investigations that go when they remove a child from the family, we're talking from the family, who is protecting them, giving them care. There's no investigations that are there. Where's the money going to go for investigations? All this protecting children that are out there. And this is very important that, young boys that are abused by their mom and their grandmother. Happened to me specifically. I'm the auntie of this happening to our 5-year-old nephew. Our 5-year-old nephew was removed, put into foster care, adopted by a single person, young woman who's below the age of 30 years old. Turns 18 years old, our nephew comes and finds us. Silent, all silent. I even had a house approved by a social worker saying that I had a home that could have been his foster home. But family was cut off. Where's this money going to? Is it going to the children? And also, is there a difference? I'm going to ask again, because boys who get abused by women, God forbid, they still find love for women. I don't like this because men have, our nephew right now is struggling with the emotional abuse of his childhood. And I am going to be the auntie who helps him understand that there is a balance with men and women. And I'm not talking here about something that is in the rules and regulations, because we have abided by rules and regulations. I'm talking about something deeper, spiritually deeper, the family deeper. And I want to be sure that this money that you guys are saying, give us more, protects the children, but the family unit that we are talking about, that where's the investigation to look to see where's the good family, the next of kin to take care of our children. And again, little boys growing up to be men, we need some fine gentlemen in this world. And I have a lot of respect for men, a lot of respect for good gentlemen, good men that go out there and they love their women. And same thing for us women. When we have a good man, I just thank God for that, but also for vice versa. And they start in the childhood. Let's make sure that we take care of the emotional and psychological as well as just physical appearance. The psychological is just so important as well. And I expect that this money that goes out there to help with all this, that sounds good, and I would vote for that. But I'm not seeing the results, especially when I ended up with a twilight zone in a world that I couldn't get in. That ends my, let me throw one more.
Thank you very much. Carlo, followed by Alex Beltran. I'm sorry, ma'am, your time is up. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone here in the building. I want to go ahead and first and foremost just tell CFS that I forgive them. I'm a veteran who upheld the Constitution, to uphold and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. But they trampled over my civil rights, falsified allegations against me, and protected a known abuser. At the end of the day, they claimed my PTSD and all this other stuff, but I never grew up my kids, sprayed them in the face with oven cleaner, or body slammed my children for reading the Bible. But a rich white woman was able to do all that, and I got relegated to the end. I don't know why they did it, but, First, they claimed they didn't know, but they knew. They always knew. When outside, I was out here talking to Mrs. Glasgow, the director, and she told me there was a difference between a man groping a child and a woman groping a child. So she sets policy. She sets standards. And if this is what the new standard in San Bernardino is, let's go ahead and apply it for everyone. But here you go.
Except for the other allegations about groping, which is Ms. Crystal Newman said it did happen on multiple occasions. Where's that at?
Multiple?
Yes, ma'am. It happened to the little one as well. When Soraya walked in on her sister, sitting on the couch, mom was rubbing her vagina, saying that, guess what? This is abuse, not what you're saying my boyfriend did.
Oh, yeah, I did read that. I think that was in Roka's report.
I did read that. Damn it. I did read that. That was a supervisor out of Rancho Dam Cucamonga telling me that she read that my child was groped by her mother. But you know what happened at court? They didn't bring it up. They didn't bring up the video that the mother in front of a Fontana Police Department told my child to go ahead and tell them why I did it. Why did I do it? Tell him. But you know what they did? They railroaded me, violated my civil rights, handing me my paperwork the day of. Law says 10 days before the hearing, you shall have your paperwork. I got mine the day of. The first time, 10 minutes after the hearing was over, when they removed my care and gave the mother 100% custody, what happened? It was 10 minutes before the hearing. There are no civil rights here in San Bernardino Dependency Court. The judges know. The lawyers know. The sheriffs and the bailiffs know. And I'm here letting you guys know, putting my safety and my freedom at risk because they threatened to take my little one away as well. When I was advocating just recently, and I know I only got 10 seconds, I will say this. I was advocating for my child to get therapy. And Ms. Jenkins comes and tells me I'm going to get investigated for emotional abuse because I was advocating for therapy. This is what CFS, the demons, have turned into. Thank you.
Alex Beltran, followed by Peggy Lee Kennedy.
My name is Alex Beltran. I'm a resident of the 5th District, and I'm here today to speak on agenda item number 81. We're again asking the board to vote no. Although we pretty much know it's a done deal, we still wanted to come here and voice our concerns. Housing is a huge issue right now. The whole state is in a crisis, and we need more support. I appreciate Supervisor Baca, the last meeting and this meeting, sharing some of the things that he's doing to support the community, but we need more to meet the demands that is needed in our community. We need support for people to stay in their housing, and we need more affordable housing in all the cities across the county. There's a lot that can be done, and I understand the policy and the budget, and each member of the board has discretionary funds, and they could each be pitching in to help with this issue, but it's not happening. It's easy to complain about this issue and send it up to the state and say the state is the one creating this problem, or the cities are the ones that aren't doing anything, but you have a lot of power to do something about this issue right now, and nothing is being done. So please, again, vote no, or at least give an explanation of why you're passing this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Peggy Lee Kennedy, followed by Fatima Baeza.
Hello, I'm here to speak against agenda item 81. Your encampment ban or your camping ban targeting unhoused people, very specifically making it illegal for people to do things that they have no other option to do, like sleeping in public when they don't have enough low income or no income housing. And I think this shouldn't be a surprise to you because 62.5% of the people in your point in time count had zero income. That's a huge number. So making it illegal for them to be outside and sleep outside is inhumane. And we should be doing things to find solutions, real solutions, and not making it, making a law, your cut and paste, crummy arse law that you're trying to pass through consent. And I'm on all of your email lists, and I went back and I looked to see if there was a public hearing somewhere on this, and I couldn't find it. So, you know, what's going on here? You know, what about the Justice community here? How about a little compromise on making sure that somebody's offered a legitimate offer of housing or shelter before you give them a ticket? You know, written into the law. You couldn't even bother doing that. And that's the least you could have done before you made this inhumane law. I think you should be ashamed at putting it on consent 2 meetings in a row and not really having public input on this. I know people complain. I get it. I complain too, but you know what? I want real solutions. Not only for the people who are outside, but for me. I want real, habitable, affordable housing for myself and my family, not just for the people who are outside. There's so many people who need it. And I mean, I'm glad you do something, but I don't think that you're patting yourself on the back for any good reason, because 44% of the people on your point in time count were chronically homeless. That is nothing to be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. Fatima Baeza, followed by Renisha Belvins.
Hi, my name is Fatima. I'm involved in mutual aid outreach in San Bernardino and Redlands. Through this work, I meet and get to know a lot of our unhoused neighbors. So I know that from here, listening to them, that the way houselessness is being handled is getting worse, and it's getting worse because of you. You, the people with the power to make a change, are choosing to pass ordinances like this that harm houseless people, that keep them on the streets and keep them or puts them in jail. You heard over 30 of us explain how this encampment ban would be harmful to the issue of houselessness back when it was introduced on August 19th. And I think you guys know this already. I think we explained it pretty well. And maybe you just don't care about what happens to these people, as long as they're out of sight from the public, so we don't have to be reminded about your failure to help the unhoused. But we're reminding you that you work for us, and we're telling you we want real solutions. You're not doing enough. The victories you brag about in your meetings relating to houselessness are not enough to brag about when you're enforcing harmful encampment bans at the same time. You can't just help a handful of homeless people and sweep the rest under the rug. You have a lot of work to do, and we're gonna keep holding you accountable until we see change. Thank you.
Thank you. Renisha Belvins, followed by Alice Herrera.
Hi, I'm Renisha Belvins, and I'm speaking on behalf of Time for Change. And I'm also speaking as an experienced, lived person who overcame being unhoused. You know, so being homeless is not easy. It puts us at a survival type of mindset. And when you're told to go from where you feel comfortable at the time, it harms you. I felt unsafe. I felt taken advantage of. And I felt like I had no meaning in life, no purpose at that time. So basically, you guys doing, I'm opposing to item 81, and I'm asking if you guys could vote no on it to help others like myself have a second chance at being housed and having a solution before being thrown out as trash. Thank you.
Thank you. Alice Herrera, followed by Ipiani Lockhart.
Hi, I'm Alice Herrera. I am a resident of Joshua Tree, and our homeless there are relatively low, but the extreme climate is a problem there. in the beginning of this session, you spoke about all the things that you're proud of, helping people that were needy, helping children in school, helping the elderly. All of these people are people that are going to be affected by this item 81. All of these people will be affected. There are people that are elderly that are left on the streets. They don't have any place to go. The housing is too much. Their income, their Social Security is not enough for them to get by. It's not enough for them to pay first and last and rent and all this other stuff. I personally know elderly that are newly homeless. They've lived in a house their entire life, and now they're forced to live in the same neighborhood. They had their home on the streets. And these are people that are extremely vulnerable to the elements. Cold, heat. There was a homeless person in 29 Palms that died on this in the park from exposure to cold. He froze to death laying there. He was elderly. Like, if you want to help your most vulnerable constituents, I don't see who else is as vulnerable as homeless. Please vote no on agenda item 81.
Thank you. Ipiani Lockard, followed by Desiree Sanchez.
Hello. Good morning. I hope all is well. My name is Ipiani Lockard. I am the faith organizer on behalf of Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. We're here to oppose 81. As you guys are sitting here on the cusp of creating a new pipeline, the unhoused to prison pipeline, we really want you to consider the costs, knowing that we have a very conservative populace throughout our county. I'm going to speak towards the financial lens. Often it costs over $130,000 to incarcerate an individual per year, and that's a healthy individual. If a person is elderly or has medical expenses, that number could double or triple. If we look at that $130,000 per year, we could actually house 3 families of 4 with that same amount of money, giving them a foundation to build from and a chance to become contributing members of our community, to be taxpayers. And now I want to speak more towards our taxpayer audience, because often and sadly, hopefully it's not the case here, but sometimes the decisions are already made behind closed doors. But to our community members that participate and vote, and our taxpayers, wouldn't you want to see a greater investment, a greater return on investment, especially when we look through this nation through a capitalism mindset? You know, it's all about return on investment. I think we can make a better investment by investing in humanity, not investing in cages and prisons that often lead to exploitation. I want to present this scenario to you. What about the unhoused mother with her children? As Sister Peggy shared, we have a percentage that have 0 income, so they get that first ticket, then they get that second ticket. Now they got a warrant. Now a mother is being incarcerated for being unhoused. Children are sent to a system, a foster care system, that often continues to perpetuate the harms that our community is always trying to grow from, right? I know that when we think about our unhoused population, it's a spectrum, because we do have individuals that work full-time jobs that are unable to afford housing. So that speaks towards the needs of having affordable housing throughout our community. And finally, in closing, I think each of us and each person in here that could hear my voice, that we each have an opportunity to be a blessing unto humanity. We don't share this gift forever. We all leave this place. But we each have an opportunity with each newly given day, such as the day that we're standing here today, to make change, to do better for not only ourselves and our families, but for humanity. I think humanity deserves the best of humanity, and let's be that for our people here in our community, for our unhoused community, or anybody that's marginalized or disenfranchised. And for those that have the means, you've been blessed to be a blessing. So this is an opportunity for all of us to be a blessing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Desiree Sanchez, followed by Sharon Green.
Hello, my name is Desiree Sanchez. I have been a San Bernardino County resident for over 10 years. I live in the city of Wrightwood. I came here with 30 other individuals at the last meeting to oppose this ordinance, agenda item 81, which is a camping ban ordinance. 30 of us acknowledged you, asking you for your attention, your commitment to let your constituents know that you stand for everyone, not just people that can afford a home. 30 of these people came during the day to either take off work or come to speak with you. Not one of you acknowledged them to thank them for coming. You might not agree with them, but still they're your constituents. Acknowledge that they came to be part of their civic engagement. We also let you know that some of us have lived experience and what this ordinance, tackling us with a $100 fine up to a $500 fine. And if we couldn't pay that, would criminalize us because it would give us a warrant, and then we would be arrested, and then we would be in the criminal justice system. And then we would not be able to get a home at all because when we apply for an apartment, we have to write that we have a record. So it keeps us in the constant circle of being unhoused and criminalizing us for living in poverty. But you didn't get that, and you put the item again on the consent calendar. So now I need to come as an ACLU staff person and tell you the legalities that you're gonna have to face regarding this. The ACLU of Southern California objects to your placement of the proposed camping ban ordinance. Agenda item 81 on the consent calendar, a section of the agenda reserved for non-controversial matters that are approved without public debate. Placing an item that has the potential to cause great harm on the consent calendar for 2 consecutive readings is not only unethical and unfair to your constituents. We urge the board to remove the item from the consent calendar and add it to the section of the agenda that calls for proper discussion, just like every agenda item that you run. We also urge the Board of Supervisors to vote no on this ill-conceived proposal. The proposed ordinance will not address the dangers to health and safety that encampment residents face every day. The Board of Supervisors acknowledges that residents yet criminalizing public sleeping and camping makes it harder for people to exist. Houselessness has devastating impacts in health and well-being and does not improve public health and safety.
That's time.
Thank you very much, Sharon Green, followed by Garth Pazant.
Good morning, supervisors. As we look at our nation today, it appears that our leadership is trying to throw away those that are less fortunate. They have racially targeted our Mexican and African American communities without cause to exit them out of the land of the free. Then tell those on Medicaid to work in the fields of those that want revenue of having fields but don't want to do the labor it requires. We see our local government attempting once again to arrest our way out of homelessness with item 81. Repeatedly, we have tried this tactic and repeatedly it has failed. As a pastor, I want to remind us that the Bible tells us we will always have the poor, the hungry, the destitute, the incarcerated, and those that are unhoused with us. As a county, we've had millions of dollars recaptured because our government failed at its job. We continue to target nonprofits that have done the work with minimum resources but cannot align with unnecessary foolishness. We want to remind you that we still have an all-powerful God that always provides for his children. He will also recompense those that think that they can harm them and get away with it. Although we have the elite 5 that supervise the largest county in the country, you still have to answer for any misuse, any abuse, and undercurrent actions. I want to remind you also that we the people are still the employers of the government. We are there. You are there because we trust you to do the right thing and do the right things with our tax money and for our community. When you fail to do that, then you have failed your jobs. And when employees fail to perform, using the words of this current president, you are fired. Thank you.
Thank you. Garth Pizant, followed by Karen Reich.
Thank you, Chair Rao and the Honorable Board of Supervisors. County Council, item number 27, approve amended conflict of interest codes for the following jurisdictions as on file with the Clerk of the Board of Supervisors, San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, presenter Tom Bunton, County Council. I'd like to ask if this conflict of interest codes are applicable to my concerns with county insurance, transportation, liability, and non-liability.
Karen Reich, followed by Les.
Good morning. I just got back from Texas, where I went and helped with an estate sale, and I met a woman back there who her daughter retired from CPS, and she prayed with me. I told her my circumstances. She prayed with me. She said in her opinion, there's a lot of people, good people that work for CPS, but then there's a lot of ones that shouldn't be working for CPS. My grandchildren were removed from my care on June 5th of 24, just one day short of 666. There is real evil in this world. My sister is the one who made the referral. She got me over to her house that day, and they removed my grandkids from her house for no reason. They weren't abused, neglected, starved, raped, molested. None of those reasons applied. Yet they came without law enforcement, they came without a court order, and then they said that I failed to protect my grandkids from them. Have you ever heard of such a thing from CPS themselves? Is this the kind of game they play to remove kids? I want my grandkids back in my care. They had no reason to remove them. They were happy, healthy, well-adjusted, 3-year-old twin toddlers. Now they've been in there a year. They're 4 years old. They didn't have a mark on them, but yet people I've talked to who have been groped or sprayed in the face with an cleaner, they got to keep their kids. Why? Because they're rich? I'm a grandmother. Jeannie Glasgow wouldn't even talk to me after the last meeting because she said it wasn't my case. They can remove the kids from me but can't talk to me? Are you kidding me? What does it take? Am I going to have to beg you people to help me get my grandkids? There was no reason to remove them. I'm not above that. I will beg if that's what it takes. There was no reason. Every day that goes by, we'll never get back. I was there when they were born. They were with me every day. I saw them every day. They lived next door to me for the first 2 years of their life. And then they moved to Barstow, and I still was making sure they're okay. In the January 28th, 25 meeting of Board of Supervisors, Terry Lewis told you that it wasn't about abuse, it wasn't about neglect, it was about she felt that my daughter had ADD issues. Now she's a doctor, and the very first day of the investigation, they removed my grandkids. They couldn't say, look, we understand the kids have been in your care. Don't let your daughter see them. This is our first day of the investigation. We'll have to make other arrangements if you don't follow our rules, but at least give me the chance to fail. Don't traumatize them.
That's time.
Thank you very much. Our last request to speak is by Les.
Emergency. The City Council approved the measure yesterday. The declaration enables the city to speed up its implementation. The San Bernardino City Council has declared a homeless emergency. The City Council approved the measure yesterday. The declaration enables the city to speed up its implementation of their $20 million homeless action plan. KTLA's Shelby Nelson is live in San Bernardino with the very latest. Shelby.
So this was February 2023. We're in 2025. And still no homeless resource center, still no homeless shelter. And now you guys are about to pass this because you guys probably already behind closed doors. You probably talked about it. And yeah, the people need homes. The people need housing. You know, once it's not about the people no more, it's about individuals now. Like I say all the time, these meetings too early. Half the people in here probably work up in here. And then the other people, of course, is with us talking about the homelessness and other things as well. But it's a sad case. You guys are, like I said last time, you guys are contradicting yourselves. You guys are saying that you guys are for the people, but then turn around and just stab the people in the back by doing something like this. But, you know, like I was, to my people out there that's here talking about this issue, they don't care. They don't care at all. You know, every system makes money off of each other. So like we said, once the mother gets locked up, the jail system's about to make money, and then the CFS, they're about to make money off the little child. And then taxpayers have to pay that. And then the sad thing about all this, we talk about murderers, we talk about killers. Well, we're helping them become killers and murderers because we're putting them in a system to allow them to get raped. CPS and juvenile hall system just has a case right now where they allow children to get raped. So now juvenile hall is getting sued. So now it's a big payout. If you go on YouTube, they're making videos left and right. Oh, it's a big payout now. You could just we could sue juvenile hall and get money. You know, it's like it's a whole circus now. And it's sad that they even have to get to that point where we're suing people, you know, and these children are being raped and forgot about. And then a little off subject, but even the elementary down the street, we got prostitutes in front of the elementary school. When are we going to do something about that? And it's right down the street. And then there was another building right here where we had to help the people out the building. And you guys' office, you guys have a big old window. So I know you guys see the old police station that turned into a homeless shelter, and then people was living on the floors, feces on the floors. Single mothers was being threatened. If they don't have sex, they will get killed. If they don't,
It's time.
Thank you. That was our last request to speak. Do I have a motion? Thank you,
Hagman
Vice
seconds.
Chair. Thank you, Supervisor Hagman on the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And with the noted abstentions from myself and Supervisor Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, the consent calendar passes with the note of abstentions on item 59.
Thank you very much. Our discussion calendar today begins with item number 82, which is an introduction of the ordinance to correct regional transportation development mitigation plan fee for truck storage drop lot use in Apple Valley, sphere of influence sub-area, being presented by Noel Castillo. Good morning, Noel. We'll open a public hearing.
Good morning, Chair, board members. My name is Noel Castillo, and I'm the Director of the Department of Public Works. And today I'm here to discuss the correction to the Regional Transportation Development Mitigation Plan fee. And just to mention, there's two items that I'll be presenting on today, and they're both clerical corrections in nature. So, next slide. On November 5th, 2024, item 54, the Board of Supervisors adopted resolution number 2024-161, updating the Regional Transportation Development Mitigation Plan report. The plan included a new truck storage drop lot, land use category, and established fees for off-site and supplemental on-site warehouse truck staging lots. The plan listed truck storage drop lot within the Apple Valley sphere of influence sub-area at $13,334.66 per acre. Next slide. On November 19, 2024, item 70, the board adopted Ordinance 4480 to update the fee amount consistent with the plan. Ordinance 4480 incorrectly listed the truck storage drop lot fee within the Apple Valley sphere of influence sub-area at $12,334.66 per acre, which was $1,000 less than the amount in the plan. Next slide. The adoption of this ordinance will correct the truck storage drop lot fee within the Apple Valley sphere of influence sub-area to $13,334.66, ensuring consistency between the code and the plan. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. I do not believe we have any requests to speak on this item. I will bring it back to the board for comments or questions. And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing.
Move the item.
And thank you, Supervisor Hagman for the motion and Supervisor Almendarez for the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have just a point of clarification for Supervisor Baca. As an absent or?
Absent.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. With that, this item passes.
Thank you very much. Item number 83 is the introduction of an ordinance to correct the annual service charge for road maintenance for County Service Area 70, Zone R12, Baldwin Lake, also being presented by Noel Castillo, and I will open the public hearing on this one.
Thank you once again, Madam Chair, board members. Again, Noel Castillo, Director of the Department of Public Works. And today I'm here to discuss the correction to the annual service charge for County Service Area 70, Zone R-12. On April 8th, 2025, item 68, the Board of Supervisors adopted Ordinance 20-03, updating the annual service charge for road maintenance for County Service Area CSA 70, Zone R-12, Baldwin Lake, among several other fee revisions. The 2025-2026 annual service charge for road maintenance for CSA 70, Zone R-12, Baldwin Lake, should have been $438.23 per parcel, but it was incorrectly listed as $38.23. The proposed ordinance will ensure the proper fee is charged to residents by listing the fee as $438.23 per parcel. That concludes my presentation.
And no notices have gone out to our residents yet? They weren't informed that it was $38 with a $400 error coming at them?
I think, again, that what was correctly stated in the fee plan was a clerical error that we're trying to update now. So, but as far as I know, I don't think we've sent any letters out.
Yeah, just to confirm, this fee of $438 represents a 2.5% increase from the prior year. So they had been paying an amount similar to that for quite some time.
Okay.
And it agreed to it. This was just a clerical error where the 4 was accidentally deleted in the final version that the board adopted. So nothing's been sent out to the public. This was caught and is being fixed. And so the final tax bills that go out will reflect the correct amount.
Very well. Thank you very much. I will close the public hearing. Any other comments, questions? Thank you for the motion, Supervisor Hagman, and the second, Vice Chair Baca. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Item number 83 passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Glen Helen Specific Plan, item number 84, is a plan amendment being presented by Miguel Figueroa. Good morning.
Good morning.
I will open the public hearing.
Good morning, Chair Rao and board members. My name is Miguel Figueroa. I'm the Land Use Services Director. By my side is Vanessa Norwood, Contract Planning Manager. Before you, we have a presentation for the Glen Helen Specific Plan Amendment. Next slide, please. The project considers a request to rezone the North Glen Helen Planning Subarea from Destination Recreation to Corridor Industrial, and the Sycamore Flats Planning Subarea from single-family residential to single-family corridor industrial overlay and commercial traveler services high-density overlay to corridor industrial. It also considers deleting the high-density overlay zone. Next slide, please. The purpose of the amendment before you is to align zoning designations with existing and planned land uses, support long-term land use stability, allow existing planning temporary use permits to be entitled through the discretionary review of a minor use permit, promote economic development and employment opportunities, allow flexibility for development based on current market conditions, and create parameters for approval of storage container stacking. Next slide. The project locations in red show the Sycamore Flats planning subarea located to the west of Interstate 15 and the North Glen Helen planning subarea south of the BNSF railroad tracks. Next slide, please. The North Glen Helen planning subarea is proposed to be rezoned to corridor industrial. The site is 81.5 acres north of Glen Helen Parkway. Its current zoning is destination recreation. The proposed zone change will allow broader choice of permitted uses under corridor industrial designation and option to entitle industrial uses. As shown in the image, the area shows 2 planning temporary use permits. Planning temporary use permit -2021-00018 was approved on June 20th, 2021 for an 18.31 acre truck terminal facility. It is valid for 10 years and it still has 6 years remaining. Permanent temporary use planning temporary use permit -2022-00046 was approved on August 18th, 2023 for a 31.64 acre truck terminal facility. It is valid for 10 years and it has 8 years remaining. Next slide, please. The Sycamore Flats planning subarea consists of 48.7 acres adjacent to the Glen Helen Parkway. These are currently zoned single-family proposed rezone to single-family corridor industrial overlay. This will allow for broader choice of permitted uses under corridor industrial designation, or it will allow for an option to entitle residential uses should market conditions support single-family uses. The remaining 12.1 acres adjacent to the I-15 freeway are currently zoned commercial traveler services with a proposed rezone to corridor industrial, with a designation for 25 to 35 dwelling units per acre that will require custom design building layouts. Next slide, please. The addendum to the Glen Helen specific plan will not exceed the approved mobile source emissions. It will not result in a substantial increase in ambient operational noise levels in the vicinity of the project. And trip generation upon build-out results in a reduction of approximately 11,687 trips per day. Next slide. The Planning Commission held a hearing on May 22nd, 2025. 7 comments were received in opposition to the project related to the following: the divorce of area traffic congestion, trails, water supply, dark skies. I do want to note, though, that as directed by your board on August 5th, the divorce of area is being further reviewed and will be brought back at a future date. This item is not within the item you have before you. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the proposed amendments to the Glen Helen specific plan by a 401 vote with 1 commissioner absent. Next slide. At this point, this concludes the project presentation. Staff is here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions of staff before I take public comment? All right, our first request to speak is Jane Hunt-Rubel, followed by Darcy Clapp.
Good morning, board members. Yes, I'm here again. I'm totally against this project. I have been for years. They're ruining, I've been to the Planning Commission hearings on this and the last 2 board meetings on this. And it's really a mistake. I mean, that area used to be so beautiful and now that's all we need is just more trucks. And it's going to affect our community of Musquoy too, because Cajon Boulevard, we're still getting so many trucks already. And I still don't understand exactly where it is. It looks like the Sycamore Canyon area, which during the Glen Helen specific plan, that was designated supposed to be a golf course with related homes, but that was so many years ago. And so I was just wondering what the people of that live in Rosina Ranch, they were already at one of the meetings, the hearings here this year about, it's up on, it's some other, a hotel and everything up in that area. And they were already, the residents of Rosina Ranch were, complaining about the traffic on the 15 and it's hard to get. But once you build this truck thing, it's going to be, disgusting, especially on the roads around there. It's already too, you're just ruining a good thing. And I wish you guys would really consider, denying this, because that area is so congested. I feel really bad for the citizens that live up in Devore, because I used to love to go up in that area, but I don't even go up there anymore because it's so congested with traffic already. And if you build this truck corridor thing, it's going to get even worse on the 15 and everything. So I don't even go up to Glen Helen Regional Park anymore. And I love that park. But please reconsider this and just, don't redesign it to be accommodating trucks. That's all we need is more trucks. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Darcy Clapp, followed by Dee Denton.
Good morning. The Ferris Sycamore Flats reporting of the environmental determination stated on today's public hearing announcement just honestly cut and pasted the direct findings from the EIR study of the 2005, conveniently only leaving out the year 2005, and nothing's been changed. They're presenting this as a new and updated study, which is not the truth. The EIR is actually found in the Glen Helen study, page number 4, Exhibit B. This EIR study is 20 years old. In that span, in the 20 years, 2,000 plus homes have been built in Rosina Ranch, 131 homes at La Ventana, 589 in Nara Hills. The huge Amazon warehouse and staging grounds were erected, FedEx, 11 pallet yards that mostly are illegal, and 2 numerous to count trucking yards have been built. The 20-year-old study does not account for today's noise, traffic, transportation, and environmental concerns. Ferris Sycamore Flats is stating for a fact that their addendum in the final impact of 2005 report does not reach a threshold needed to prepare a new supplemental EIR, addressing the 2025 concerns. Add to this revised page 1-16, revised on 425, it states that many sensitive and endangered species, plants, and animals are only found within Sycamore Flats. It states Sycamore Flats is the most sensitive biological area within the specific plan. Shouldn't an EIR be warranted for at least this? I may ask, what is the county's threshold that needs to be reached before a new EIR is demanded? Doesn't a 20-year-old study that was written in 2005 meet that criteria? 20 years is a very long time, and Ferris Sycamore is proposing to you today in this hearing that they do not have to account for the new housing, sensitive species, traffic, concerts, and impact. Please demand of the Ferris Sycamore Flats that there be a new EIR, which includes Rosina Ranch and an updated traffic study with an environmental plant and animal report. Supervisors, do not blindly pass this antiquated EIR without correct protocol and demanding that there be a new EIR updated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dee Denton, followed by Carlo.
Good morning. I'm here to oppose this zoning change today, and my real concern with this development is the plan and the vision for this area seems to be ever-changing. This area is positioned as a pivotal point in our county since it's the corridor from San Bernardino, Fontana, Rialto, Rancho Cucamonga up into the high desert, so it really touches everybody in this room, whether they realize it or not. The development that get approved in this area and the conditions that when they get built, but then it's up to our community to patrol the developer, that they've met the requirements that they came in front of the board and got approval for. And I think that that's a really unrealistic expectation. And when I develop some kind of way to come up with it, I'll certainly share that with you because I'd like to be part of the solutions here and not just be one here complaining things because we do have lots of things that are needing improvements in our county. The development in this area, including the Glen Helen specific plan, has been plentiful, as you heard Darcy mentioned, and it doesn't appear that the environmental impacts have been really looked at seriously considering all the development in that area. This area is the home of the Glen Helen Regional Park, which another person also, Jane had mentioned. And it's clear to me that the money that's being put into this park for the improvements is the intent for this county to make it an area where people are actually going to come up to an open space area and an area where they can escape some of the stuff that's going on in the city. And I fear that this plan will fall short because they're going to be fighting conditions of traffic and congestion and overcrowding, which is what they're trying to come to that area for. The development in our area has been abundant, and I realize that with the open land we have in our community, it exposes us to this type of expansion. But what I ask is to take a fair and equitable approach, that these developers knew that the zoning of these properties when they purchased them, and I don't want to give the perception that people can come into our county and try and ask for exemptions after they've purchased it. So I thank you for your time, and
Thank you. Carlo.
Good morning again. I live in the DeVore area, and I can tell you that the noise is pretty bad up there with the traffic. So I'm not sure what standard or noise level device that they had to measure that. So I would assume that if they can go out there and measure that again. But anyways, with that being said, I am now going to go ahead and start reading testimonies of parents that are in the system as we speak.
Sir, this is for a very specific item on our agenda in this
that's fine.
public
Yes,
hearing.
ma'am. I understand.
So I need you to keep it to this topic.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, it's about money, right? It's about what are we doing as stewards. As a person in San Bernardino and also in the DeVore area, I can imagine what it feels like to bring your kids home and not bring your kids home, right? So we enjoy the area, we enjoy the shopping and whatnot. But I'm a 22-year-old mother, a brown Latina, the same color as Mrs. Glasgow. I dreamed of raising my kid with...
Sir, I'm sorry. This is no
tradition.
longer about the divorce sub area.
It is. She lives...
Thank you very much for your comments today. I'm going to bring it back to the board for discussion. Do I have any comments from board members on this particular topic? I had a concern that I know that the DeVore sub area was of concern to our residents in the DeVore area, and so I had asked that that be broken out. I was not aware that residents had a concern with the Sycamore Flats area today, so I apologize that we didn't delve deeper into that prior to this morning's meeting. The development community wants to have a level playing field. It is difficult to be on both sides of this, so I look forward to delving deeper into the DeVore sub area, the EIR, the things that have been done there to ensure the things that I heard from my residents today are accomplished in that area. And so I will close the public hearing now on this item and entertain a motion. Thank you, Vice Chair and Supervisor Hagman for the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 84 passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Item number 85 is an item to vacate prior approvals and reconsideration of Moon Camp project being presented this morning by Mark Wardlaw. We'll open the public hearing as he makes his way down. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Members of the board. I'm Mark Wardlaw, long-range planning consultant with the Land Use Services Department, and I'm here today with Paul Toomey, our consulting planning manager. On January 14th, 2025, the board conducted a public hearing to consider the partially recirculated sections of the draft Moon Camp Environmental Impact Report number 3 and reconsideration of the proposed Moon Camp development project. At the hearing, there were no in-person public comments, and after deliberation, the board accepted the recommendations and approved the project. Following the board's actions, Land Use Services discovered a defect in our mailing of the public hearing notices to surrounding property owners and to those who had filed a written request for notice. Today, for this item, staff has carefully reviewed and completed the required public noticing for this public hearing. Today, due to our notice defects, Land Use is requesting the board to first, as a separate action at the end of this presentation, the opening of the hearing, is to separate action number 1 and vote, which would be to set aside and vacate all actions and approvals related to the proposed Moon Camp project that were taken on January 14th, 2025. Then separately, reconsider the project's tentative track map and the partially recirculated environmental impact report number 3, which I'll refer to as draft EIR number 3 in this presentation. On July 28th, 2020, the board considered and unanimously approved the project, including a general plan amendment, zone change, tentative track map, and certification of the 2020 final EIR by a vote of 5-0. On January 20th, 2022, the court granted the petition challenging CEQA findings filed by the Friends of Big Bear Valley, San Bernardino Valley Audubon Society, Inc., and the Center for Biological Diversity. The court ruled that EIR number 2 was deficient in 2 specific environmental categories: impacts on the ashy gray Indian paintbrush and pebble plain habitat, and potential impacts on wildfire evacuation risk. The other prior actions that had been approved by the board remain valid and are not included in this action, including the general plan and zoning amendment. These items were upheld by the court and no further consideration is necessary. On November 15th, 2022, the board vacated the project approvals in accordance with the court order. The draft EIR number 3 has been prepared to address the issues the court found deficient in its ruling, and they include updates to Chapter 1, Introduction, revisions to Chapter 4.1, Biological Resources, revisions to Chapter 4.3, Hazards and Hazardous Materials, and updates and revisions to Chapter 4.4, Land Use and Planning. The project shown here in red boundaries is located on Highway 38 and along the north shore of Big Bear Lake near Fawnskin Community. This slide illustrates the tentative map and shows the proposed roadway to access the gated residential development along the upper portion of the site. Property along North Shore Drive will allow lakefront access and includes the marina. The draft EIR number 3 includes revisions to Chapter 4.1, Biological Resources. There is potential habitat for the ashy gray Indian paintbrush, and 3 mitigation measures were added to ensure conservation of this sensitive species. These measures include collection of seed prior to land disturbance, conservation and preservation easements placed on the tentative tract map, and limiting construction on individual lots to preserve the plant. No true pebble plain habitat was found on the project site. Therefore, no mitigation is recommended or required to address this issue. This slide shows the project site and identifies the conservation and preservation easements to be maintained in perpetuity. The 5.3 acre conservation easement for ashy gray Indian paintbrush is shown in the red crosshatch area. The 3.7 acre shoreline habitat conservation easement will maintain the lakefront area for public use and is shown in the green crosshatch, which includes approximately 40 bald eagle perch trees. The draft EIR number 3 examined whether the project would have substantial adverse impact with respect to fire evacuation risks. A wildfire evacuation plan was prepared by DUDEC, and was evaluated by San Bernardino County Fire Department. The evacuation plan consisted of 7 evacuation scenarios. The modeled evacuation times increased by 1 to 6 minutes with the project compared to no project scenarios. Mitigation measures HZ1, HZ2, and HZ3 are included in the tentative track map to ensure periodic updates to wildfire evacuation plans and ongoing maintenance of the fire road, and these then result in less than significant impacts. This slide shows the project evacuation routes that are along Highway 38. The draft EIR number 3 also includes updates and revisions to Chapter 4.4 Land Use Planning to analyze the consistency of the project with the most recent countywide plan, housing element, and the regional housing needs assessment, which were adopted after the original project approval. The project is determined to be consistent with and would not conflict with any applicable land use policies. No significant adverse impacts have been identified, and no mitigation is required. The draft EIR number 3 was available for public review between February 1st, 2024 and March 18th, 2024. 10 comments were received conveying concerns for impacts to ashy gray Indian paintbrush and pebble plain habitat. The draft EIR number 3 includes mitigation measures to ensure conservation of the species and that pebble plain habitat was not found on the site. 7 comments were received related to issues that were previously addressed in the EIR and project redesign. 2 comments address consistency with the countywide plan, which the court previously upheld the board's action approving the general plan amendment and zoning amendment. Staff has determined the project complies with the court order and that the TTM, the tentative track map, has remained consistent with the design originally approved by the board. Staff recommends approval of the item. Thank you. That's the completion of our presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions of staff before we take public comment? All right, our first request to speak is Anna Ivsakova, followed by Sandy Steers.
Hello. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. I'm a long time and a frequent visitor and contributor to the Big Bear economy. I'm here today to voice my strong opposition to the Mooncamp project. Over the years, a lot has been said about the negative impacts of the project on the local ecosystem, wildlife, fire safety, and rural lifestyle of the area. It is sad to see that in the latest iteration of the final EIR, the developer completely disregards most environmental concerns and refuses to engage in any public conversation regarding wildlife while claiming to be a good environmental neighbor. In regards to the ashy grain Indian paintbrush and endangered plant species, which will be greatly impacted by the project, the new final EIR uses old, outdated, and completely inadequate studies and maps to downplay and hide the real impact of the project on the species. The fire management plans and the evacuation plans presented in the final EIR are completely ineffective and superficial. The proposal basically makes a vague promise to follow the existing laws and regulations, which the developer is already lawfully obligated to do anyways. Additionally, the enforcement of those inadequate plans falls to no other than the Homeowners Association, which has no qualification or authority in this matter. Moreover, the so-called fire protection plans and evacuation route plans have been put together by a private firm. These plans were not certified or approved by the legitimate fire agencies for an event where the fire would start inside the valley. The only evaluations that have been done were done for fires that would start outside of the valley. Lastly, the project does not propose any meaningful improvements of the current evacuation infrastructure. As the main and only evacuation route, the project aims to use the existing, narrow and winding 2-lane Highway 38, which already has recommended speed limits as low as 15 miles per hour in some places. Adding 50 homes and the 55-boat slip marina to what already is a very dangerous and congested evacuation route, which is also the only available evacuation route, is irresponsible and reckless. It is especially true in light of tragic events that happened during the Camp Fire of 2018 in Paradise, California. This project would put local community and visitors in peril. It is not only an existential threat to local wildlife, including endangered species, but also a betrayal to future generations. This is why I ask you to please reject this proposal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Sandy Steers, followed by Pamela Blackwolf.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Sandy Steers, Executive Director of Friends of Big Bear Valley, a 25-year-old nonprofit that located in Fawnskin to protect and advocate for the environment, the wildlife, and special species in Big Bear Valley. Due to the amazing species there, and especially the treasured bald eagles in our area, we now have over 17,000 members and over 2.5 million followers who watch and support our work, and I am representing all of them today in my comments. Once again, the environmental work for this project in the latest partially, the draft EIR number 3 is inadequate and actually inadequate to actually lower the environmental impact of this project below the level of significance that is required before this proposed development could be legally approved. Especially concerning and completely unreasonable is that the total enactment and enforcement of the mitigation measures that have been proposed is being left to the homeowners association of this project. This includes mitigation measures that require highly skilled experts to perform. It includes planning, tracking, and keeping current on the fire evacuation requirements and procedures. The HOA is not qualified, nor are there any funds designated nor offered that have been granted to hire experts. It's all left just to the unqualified homeowners themselves. It also includes requiring the homeowners association to police themselves and enforce the biological mitigation supposedly protecting bald eagles and the highly endangered plant species on this property, such as keeping themselves out of the areas that are being protected. These mitigations must all be completely redone with proper expert organizations that have the ability to perform and enforce these mitigations. Otherwise, they do not count at all. They also need to have appropriate funding designated in order to do this before this partially recirculated EIR could be approved and before the project associated with it could be approved. I urge you to, for once, support the environment that actually brings the tourists and funds both Big Bear Valley and County of San Bernardino. I ask you to pay attention to the wildlife species and environment that really count. Please vote no on this project.
Thank you. Pamela Blackwolf, followed by Kimberly Derry.
Good morning, council members. I pray that you'll give me your undivided attention. Thank you. I am a resident of Crestline. My name is Pamela Blackwolf, and I am strongly opposed to Agenda Item 85, the proposed Moon Camp development of 50 homes and 55 private boat slips in Fawnskin on the north shore of Big Bear Lake. Groups like Friends of Big Bear Valley have been working diligently and for obvious reasons for the past 25 years to prevent this bad idea from becoming a reality. Some of the potential devastating impacts this development would have include the proposed site is documented foraging habitat for our world-famous bald eagles, numerous other avian and waterfowl species. The proposed site will cause the destruction of endangered plant species and habitats. The proposed site has a completely inadequate fire evacuation plans inside a national forest. The proposed site plans on cutting down over 2,000 trees. The proposed site will increase noise and light pollution, which will be disrupted to the eagles' breeding and foraging areas, as well as the local residents. The proposed site is within the established foraging areas and nesting site used by resident eagles Jackie and Shadow, who live in the Big Bear Valley year-round, as well as this year's eaglets, Sunny and Gizmo, are treasured celebrities who have received local, national, and worldwide attention and news coverage. And as of yesterday, Channel 5 was live in Big Bear Valley talking about the potential that they may be threatened by this new development. And we all know bad press is bad press. In June, I had the great personal fortune to view these two eagle fledglings, Sunny and Gizmo, in their nest in their federally protected eagle habitat in Fawnskin from the safe vantage point of Dana Marina, which itself is maybe a football field distance from the proposed development. Every person who viewed the nest and the eaglets through my spotting scope had driven from far distances, including Orange County, Hesperia, and even Los Angeles. We were all in absolute joy and awe to witness these majestic creatures. They are our national symbol. In their undisturbed natural setting, to say they are vitally important to the Big Bear Valley and all of Southern California is an understatement. Traffic in the area would be impacted by this development. If you've ever driven on North Shore Drive, and I have driven it hundreds of times, it is narrow, windy, unlit, and it's a 2-lane road, has one stop sign. There are basically no businesses in Fawnskin other than the post office, the Moose Lodge.
That's time.
Thank you very much. Kimberly Derry, followed by Peter Joris. Excuse me, sir. We have a lady that is ready to speak.
Good morning. My name is Kimberly Bigham Derry, and I'm here on behalf of the Eagles. They don't have a voice. Neither do any of the other animals in the forest. I've been going up to Big Bear since I was a little kid, and I've seen the south side of the lake. I've seen businesses leave. I've seen it get busier with new businesses. And since the Eagles have been here, it's gotten a lot busier in the city. And with the proposed new neighborhood on the south side of the lake, it's going to increase traffic. It's going to increase electricity use, water use. How many times has the electricity and the water been shut off? I understand they do it with fire, and that's needed to protect the residents that are already up there. But it's going to impact that. There's so much I wanted to say. The fire, I know that there's been impact reports done for that too, but we just had a fire last year, and the traffic going up and down the mountain was horrific. And with more residents, with more cars, with more businesses that will eventually go to the south side of the lake, how is that going to work? Reports have been done, but nobody's been told exactly what is going to happen with that. What's going to happen to the animals? There's a bear running around in Running Springs, going into people's trash, cars, et cetera, et cetera. I'd like to know what the plan is for the animals. I grew up going to the forest up the mountain to get away from what's down here. And if that forest disappears, if the trees, if the animals, if that's what we go up there for. And I'd like to know exactly what's going to happen with all of that. Thank you for your time, and really consider what's going to happen to what we actually go up to Big Bear for. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Joris is our last request to speak.
Greetings, supervisors. I was first down here 32 years ago, project in the Deep Creek watershed. I should note that my name is Peter Joris, and I do live in the mountains in Arrowbear. 32 years ago, we had a project. Barbara Reardon was the 3rd District supervisor, and there have been many, many projects since then. But after the 2003 and 2007 fires, I think there was a total shift of understanding of the fire hazard in the mountains. Realized at that point that all of the previous notions and ideas of safety and evacuation had changed, shifted. In 2008, Neil Derry was elected supervisor of the 3rd District. He had plenty of staff, met with every conceivable organization on the mountain, and authorized a study. Took the fire hazard extremely seriously, and contracted the Mountain Region Emergency Road Capacity Study of 2012. And we've had several fires since then, but it's obvious that these mountains, I've been to hundreds and hundreds of seminars with all of the fire ecologists, professors, fire agencies. These mountains are designed to burn, and they get high winds in the most drought dangerous season of the year, every year. And whenever those winds and fire converge, we have the potential for a major disaster. In 2003, the entire mountain had to be evacuated. The 2012 study demonstrates pretty clearly that in a similar worst-case scenario, you could not effectively evacuate Big Bear. Only three ways off the mountain. So every mountain project, we're faced with, we got more people, more houses than we can currently get off the mountain in a worst-case scenario, which will repeat one of these days in the future. So I've addressed many, many projects over the years, and we've succeeded in often finding alternatives.
That's time.
Thank you very much. We received one last request to speak from a Nicholas Barrett.
Good morning. The name is Reverend Nicholas Barrett. I was here 5 years ago to speak about the same topic, and I'll revert back to January the 7th in Malibu. In a 3-mile radius, over 300 homes burned down. The cost of that was $300 million. It is a fire hazard area, but I'll also refer this to Big Bear. I visit Big Bear regularly. I love wildlife and nature and hiking. I try and get away from Malibu. I have a lot of friends that have homes in Big Bear. They come up for 3 days a year with expensive boats and toys. They don't really care about the ecosystem. They just want to own more homes for investment. I drive around very often, around Fawnskin, around the lake area. There are many, many homes that have already been built that are $4 or $5 million homes. Big Bear is an ecosystem that's unique. It cannot be replaced. If we dishouse animals in that area, not just protected species, but all species, where will people go other than other areas that are burning down to see wildlife? What are we going to preserve? What will we tell our children? We cut down and dishoused wildlife so we can build more homes, so we can have a tinderbox and a firecracker. Homes lined up side by side increase fire risks. They increase fire risks so dramatically that even 3 trails I tried to get on, one was Glory Peak Trail, I was told by a ranger they're closed for fire risks. 3 or 4 trails I couldn't even visit. I speak to people all around the world. I have an international ministry. I spoke to people in Germany, in Australia, in London that watched Jackie and Shadow in the camera. 100,000 live viewers but millions of people around the world focusing on this. The excitement is immense. Big Bear is built on tourism. The people that work and live in Big Bear can't buy $5 million houses. They don't own Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't have parties on boats. What will we leave to the ordinary people? And what will we tell our children if we keep taking down what is precious to build what will go down as a firecracker? We're creating another Malibu out of greed, lack of foresight, and not investing in our ecosystem. We say we're under God. God gave us that ecosystem. Will we abuse what he gave us, or will we be stewards for our generation, for this generation, and next generation? I ask you to examine your hearts. What's more important, the dollar or priceless gifts that we're given? That's all I will say on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is the last request to speak that I have. Any questions of staff? I know that we have been over this project many times with this board. Any questions or concerns at this point? All right, I'll close the public hearing. We have a recommendation number 1, which is to vacate all actions of approval related to this project taken on January 14th, 2025. Is that correct?
That is correct, in a separate action and vote.
Very well. I will take that motion first. Thank you for the motion, Supervisor Hagman, and the second, Vice Chair Baca. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Recommendation number 1 passes unanimously.
Very well. Recommendations number 2 and 3 are next, and we can take them together.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair, for the motion, and Supervisor Hagman for the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention?
The remaining recommendations are passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to our public comment on items not on today's agenda. Our first request to speak is from Darcy Clapp, who will be followed by Dee Denton. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you once again. Darcy Clapp, DeVore. I'm aware that the project in question today, the Glen Helen, is directed to the Amazon area and Sycamore Flats properties. However, Old Dominion Freight is part of the 3 of the EPD solutions who wants to gang the 3 properties together for ease. I'm in front of you to ask the supervisors to really pay attention to what Old Dominion Freight is asking. When the project is presented to you, Old Dominion and its marketing campaign, EPD, want you to believe that a traffic study within DeVore Heights will take care of the mitigation. However, they're playing a shell game with all of you. They're not addressing the problem that this will cause. The site plan from Old Dominion states right turn in, right turn out. Then where do they go? Cajon Boulevard and DeVore Road is a small intersection with traffic 4 ways. District 5 has allowed multi-trucking agencies to be built down Cajon Boulevard that are already used and block our intersection and our small bridge without any new infrastructure. How do you think Old Dominion with 80,000-pound truckloads would get onto Cajon Boulevard? Answer, you would have to go up to exit them on Kenwood Avenue from the freeway and block that intersection so they can go south to get in with their right turn. There's no other way. Then to leave, their map states they turn right. Then where do they go? Over the 1-lane DeVore Bridge? Right turn so all of the 800 trucks go past Glen Helen Park and the Oasis? You look at Old Dominion's property in Rialto, and it is a large industrial area that is not encroaching on a small community. It has large roads for industrial use, and this area and intersection does not. Please do not succumb to the Old Dominion shell game. They want a traffic study that does not have anything to do with their industrial project, but a real traffic study that addresses the entire DeVore community. Right side, left side, add Cajon Boulevard, DeVore Road, and Glen Helen Parkway, where their trucks are really going to go and how they're really going to get there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dee Denton, followed by Tiffany Stells.
Thank you. I'm here today because I want to be part of the solution. And when we started the meeting, when Supervisor Armendariz said, what does a county supervisor do? You know, I got to say, I'm pretty embarrassed. I'm not entirely sure I know what they do. I appreciate your work. I know you get put in the battle lines. We're very passionate about what's going on in our county, and you're like the intermediaries. But I really think that we need to do a better job of educating our county people and the constituents in your districts about what the process is so they know what their rights are and how they can work with you to try and be a better part of the solution instead of just always complaining. It's got to be really hard to hear that all the time. So I'm fortunate enough that I have some flexibility in my schedule to be able to come into these meetings, but prior to 2 years ago, I didn't. And it's shameful that I didn't, but I really think that if we figure out a way to either post it on the website, to get people involved, to draw on that, because when I come and listen to these presentations talk about how they didn't have anybody that opposed it. Well, they don't have anybody that opposes it because you notify people 300 feet in the area, which there may not even be 300 feet in the area, but I only heard one presentation in the presentations that I've heard that actually mentioned the number of people that they notified. So how can you guys make a really informed decision when they may only be notifying 2 people and then you get no abstentions on it? It's really not an accurate representation, and I'd really like to try and figure a way out that we can get some serious feedback from the communities that are going to be impacted by projects that come before your board as well as the planning board. So today, when we are listening to the Glen Helen specific, when I read this agenda that's on here, I was absolutely shocked to hear that they're even considering container storage stacking. Are you serious? Nowhere in this does it say anything about that. I get 3 minutes to come in here and do a rebuttal to this presentation when I don't even know what they're presenting on, which it really wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know how we make that a little bit better, but if you really want serious feedback and comments from people that are going to be impacted by developments in these areas, we need to be able to have a working relationship and really be having an open conversation about what they're trying to do and develop. It's not just in my area, but areas throughout the county. Thank you for all your hard work, and I do appreciate to look forward and working with you in the future to improve our county.
Thank you. Tiffany Stells, followed by Les.
Hello, good morning. Sorry, our speaking order got kind of tossed around, but I'm here to address the ongoing surge issues at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. My name is Tiffany Stills. I'm a nurse who's been working there for over 9 years, and I just wanted to talk about that. The other nurses will talk some more. So here we go. Yellow gown, yellow socks, fall risk armband, bed alarm on, yellow sign on the door. These are all important pieces of our fall bundle, all the ways we prevent our patients from falling. In nursing school, we are taught that one of the most important parts of our work is to assess risk and find ways to prevent problems from occurring that jeopardize patient and staff safety. But now we are asked to go against the very ingrained nature within us. As we encounter surge after surge, day after day, week after week, us nurses can see the hazards a mile away. Nurse burnout, delayed patient care, fragmented patient care, all due to an overwhelming number of patients in the ER and the nurses on the floor being forced to move patients out the door faster and faster because ARMC refuses to provide the resources needed to manage the surges. And we are trying our best to prevent these problems. Why are we being allowed to fall when ARMC administration knows the risk is there? They are setting us nurses up for failure even though they can see the problems ahead. There are nurses in hospitals all over the United States citing the same problems with lack of space for patients and the lack of staff to serve our patients' needs. We know that this is only going to get worse under our current government administration, and we will see an increase in uninsured patients who are sicker because they're unable to afford basic medical care, and yet ARMC is doing nothing to prepare for this. The Oxford Language Dictionary's definition of a surge is a sudden large increase, typically a brief one that happens during an otherwise stable or quiescent period. I place emphasis on the word brief because we have been in a surge for more than a brief period of time. I wish we could give you a specific number of days we have been in surge, but unfortunately I can't. And do you know why that is? Because ARMC is not tracking when they call a surge, so we can't know the exact number, but what they are tracking is how long it takes us to discharge our patients and get new patients to the units while causing the nurses anxiety because administration feels we aren't working fast enough to move patients. ARMC is not a factory, it is a hospital, and patients are not products on a conveyor belt for you to toss into a box. Their lives and needs matter to us nurses. Since the start of this year, being in a surge has now become the norm when it should not be, and yet ARMC has no specific plan to resolve these festering issues, and we are here to ask the Board of Supervisors to step in and take action in directing ARMC to immediately address the nurse and patient safety issues. Our union hasn't received a clear plan of action from ARMC, but county nurses know exactly what is needed to manage this chronic issue: space and staffing. The solution is as simple as that. So why is it that nurses know what is needed, but ARMC administration can't get the job done? Tell me, what will happen when the surge becomes a flood? Why are we being left unprepared? Why is our fall bundle not in place? Thank you.
Thank you. Les, followed by Margaret Cashin.
Like I say, every meeting, these meetings too early. The working class can't come to these meetings because they're working. I know you guys know that. You guys probably do that on purpose, so then you guys don't have to hear us telling you guys what you guys need to do, because you guys work for the people. The people don't work for you guys. What else? You guys are no different than the drug dealers, the killers, and the prostitutes. Some of you guys are prostitutes to the system that you guys work for. I've seen drug dealers hand out turkeys before, so you guys basically doing the same thing that they do. Rancho is using some of their empty buildings for business owners, charging those business owners $1 a month. So they're doing that to combat the homelessness that goes into these empty buildings. And then on top of that, it's helping their town as well. So if Rancho can do it, I know San Bernardino can do it. And the crazy thing, Highland, if you're from San Bernardino, Highland started off with nothing. It was kind of desert-like, and now Highland is booming, and San Bernardino still looked like a crack house. What else? When are you guys going to hold the city of San Bernardino accountable about this resource center? Because like I said, I played the video. It's a fact. February 2023 is when that was posted. So you guys didn't hold them accountable at all. You guys haven't said nothing. Still no resource center, still no homeless shelter. So what's up with that? I guess nobody's going to reply to that one. Fire department, I would love to see a emergency shelter. We do have a lot of fires out here. We do need a emergency shelter. Big Bear, they get fired, like the guy was saying, they get fires a lot. So it'd be smart for them to have an emergency shelter down here in San Bernardino, so then they can come down and have housing until their stuff up in the mountains get better. It'd be smart for us to do that. What else? Can we please move the prostitutes off the block in front of this elementary school? We have prostitutes in front of the Jones's elementary school. The elementary school is only like a couple of blocks down from you guys. I know you guys drive past it. You guys have to. So please move these prostitutes from out in front of this school, please. What else? Yeah, that's probably all. Oh, and then the old man down there. Hey, I remember that you said that you, well, no, let me not do that. All right.
Margaret Cashin, followed by Zena Dulles.
Good morning. I'm here to advocate for better animal welfare in the county. Regarding the new Bloomington shelter, which is under construction currently, is it possible to look into making sure that the new Bloomington shelter will serve cats equally and or as close to or as much as dogs? The cat overpopulation issue is equal or sometimes greater than dogs. Cats fly under the radar because they are smaller and they can be out and about unnoticed compared to dogs. From what I can tell from the architectural plans, less than 12% of the space is dedicated to cats, despite projected intake to be higher than dogs. 7 structures for dogs plus 1 medical building versus 1 area, not a building, dedicated to cats. Cats consistently are underserved. I know the Department of Public Health is very busy with the new adjustments of taking in county animals from the high desert. I know they are working hard to make improvements, and I appreciate their efforts. The following plea is more for the Board of Supervisors, since there are limitations on what the Department of Public Health can do. They have no jurisdiction over certain cities and towns within the county. The county has stepped up programs and efforts to tackle animal overpopulation. However, surrounding cities and towns are ignoring the issue or not putting enough into tackling this. If city and towns within the county are not as aggressive on tackling the overpopulation issue, we are fighting a losing battle. Is it asking too much that the Board of Supervisors consider working with towns and cities to increase free and low-cost spay and neuter programs? The Department of Public Health are unable to pitch this. Without support from towns and cities, it puts too much pressure on the county. Lastly, since the county's contract has ended between Apple Valley Animal Shelter and the county, can the county reallocate the $1 million, roughly, previously used towards services AVAS provided towards increased low-cost to no-cost spay and neuter programs and an even larger TNVR, which is Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return program? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Zena Dulles, followed by Garth Pizant.
My name is Zena Dulles. I am a med-surg telemetry nurse, and I've worked at ARMC for over 13 years. I'm here to address the surge policy concerns. During the last meeting with ARMC administration, we were happy to hear they changed their mind and will not be placing portable commodes in hallways for our hallway overflow patients to use. We are appreciative to hear they are ordering rolling 5 feet tall privacy screens to provide some privacy for our hallway patients, especially when the patients must be disrobed to attach telemonitor leads. However, we do not feel their advice to avoid HIPAA violations for hallway overflow patients is to speak quietly is sufficient. ARMC's current practices in implementing the surge policy not only compromises patient care standards, but also contributes to staff burnout and moral distress. To resolve the matter of our concerns, we are requesting the following. Number 1, a plan for additional staffing during surges, nurses, sitters, nursing assistants, EABS staffing for room cleaning, not only when the resources are available or operationally feasible. Surges occur outside times when resources are available or when they are operationally feasible. 2, a plan for rotating and staggering the admission of patients to any one unit to ensure nothing is missed during the admission and assessment procedures. 3, clear parameters of patient acuity for patients to be transported upstairs to waiting in a hallway. For example, it is not okay to admit a fall risk patient to a unit where they will be placed in a hallway awaiting a room. 4, a discharge lounge for patients who are only awaiting a ride to leave the hospital with clearly established and communication of availability and expectations of what occurs and what patients can be sent to the discharge lounge. This would open up a bed for cleaning and expedite the transport of patients from the ED to be admitted directly to a bed instead of a hallway. 5, a plan to expedite the cleaning of beds once a discharge occurs. We cannot provide top-level care our patients deserve when we are not provided with the resources needed. We are committed to providing safe, respectful, and compliant care to all individuals who walk through its doors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Garth Pizant, followed by Leslie Oyes.
Thank you. The Anglo-American world power is now defunct. Take a look around. The nations have taken over, united against God himself too. However, whom will survive God's coming wrath? A people of all sorts, and I will assign whatever I want under God, Jesus Christ, and the faithful and discreet slave. I quote the Bible book, Isaiah chapter 43, verses 10 through 12. You are my witnesses, declares Jehovah, yes, my servant whom I have chosen, so that you may know and have faith in me and understand that I am the same one. Before me no God was formed, and after me there has been none. I am Jehovah, and besides me there is no Savior. I am the one who declared and saved and made known when there was no foreign God among you. So you are my witnesses, and I am God. The San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health possesses a sex offender by the name of Stephen Townsend. He is a former big-time illegal drug dealer transferred to the state of California from Florida. He is also currently on parole. He has just recently violated his parole by sexually assaulting and molesting several clubhouse members. He is allegedly in public protective custody as a board member of Team House. Stephen Townsend must go lest the department suffers repeated lawsuits. Witnesses available upon request. To the San Bernardino County Fabulous Five, Donald Trump and the United States Supreme Court know who I am and what I did to the United States Social Security Administration and its vice, China. Give me what I want or there will be heaven to pay. Who's afraid of the big bad China? I am not. If you want your regions back, go to war with China.
Leslie Oyes, followed by Jane Hunt-Rubel.
Hello, I'm a CNA nurse, Chief Nurse Rep Leslie Oyes, and a burn unit nurse at ARMC and have worked for the county for over 20 years. We, the nurses of San Bernardino County, are here today to bring your attention to patient nurse safety crisis occurring at ARMC. The emergency department at ARMC has always been a busy place, but for the last 6 months has been inundated with patients patients to the point that ARMC is implementing their surge policy on a near daily basis. The surge policy is a tool to facilitate patient admission and access to care on the rare occasions of extreme high demands. The policy for extreme times is now being implemented nearly every day. That means on a regular basis, we have 30+ patients waiting in the ED to be admitted to the bed upstairs for more than 4 hours. When available, ARMC has overflow med-surge telebeds for when a code surges occur. With more beds comes the need for more staffing. Currently, ARMC pulls nurses from the floors upstairs to care for these overflow patients awaiting admissions. Pulling nurses, assistants, sitters, break relief nurses, and resource nurses from the current units leaves our current units short-staffed, placing patient care at risk. Given our economic climate, we foresee continuous increase in patients seeking service at our county hospital emergency department, as we are a safety net hospital. We must address these concerns of patients and nurses' safety immediately before we suffer a sentinel event due to the inefficiency of ARMC's implementation of the surge policy. Per the ARMC surge policy, administration is to perform tasks when the surge is implemented. We requested documentation of 11 of those activities, to which the administration took 6 weeks to send us a response, only to inform us that half of these actions they do not track, including the dates they call a surge. Our prioritized concerns are safety hazards. Overcrowded hallways pose multiple trip hazards for staff, patients, and visitors. 2, HIPAA violations and privacy issues. Patients are held in hallway, are placed in areas without adequate privacy, often within the view and earshot of others, raising HIPAA violations. Impeded access to services. Our patients most frequently pass through our hallways lined with admitted patients to reach services like medical imaging, compromising patient dignity and operational flow. An unfair burden on the emergency department. The nurses upstairs want to help decompress the ED, but have a hard time doing so due to various safety concerns. We've had three meetings with ARMC, HRN, and administration. Per our latest meeting we had with ARMC administration, we are happy to hear that there are some long-term plans being created for the future, but we need measures taken now to address our concerns in real time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jane Hunt-Rubel, followed by Raymond Jim.
Oh, good afternoon, board members. I'd like to bring up an issue concerning, well, basically the community of Muscoy, but it includes all unincorporated communities in the area. Last Friday night, it was really fun out there. The past year, there's been, I won't name the address because I'm kind of afraid of announcing it. There's been a certain property on 2nd Avenue it's 2 acres, and it's a really deep property, but since the beginning of this year, every other Friday, they've been holding, they're not parties, they're a business. They hire a stage and the lights and everything, the porta potties, and they advertise on the internet about these rave parties. and kids come from all over, and they're ruining our community. And my next door neighbors, thank God, are going in with me on this, because they've been doing this for this past year, and I'm fed up with it. So Friday night, it was like Armageddon out there. And the kids start arriving, they park on both sides of the streets, and they go around the corner and park all along June Street and Lord knows where else. There's hundreds of them that show up for it. So I love the sheriff department. You know me, I've been praying that they get more money, and we need more deputies out there, because Friday night, I phoned him about 8 at night when the kids started arriving, because I knew what was going to happen, because I saw the porta potty truck go by. I said, we thought we had shut it down a couple of Fridays ago, but apparently not. So called the sheriff out. They came out, and there was a helicopter there too, but they got called away, and the deputy, I forget his name, but he was great. He contacted me, because I always request to hear from, the deputies, especially at the parties out there or these events, because sometimes they'll just go there and say, could you turn it down? I tell them, no, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and you have to get tough with them. But there was a lot of people there, and they hired guards now at the gate or whatever. So the deputy was so sweet. He said, well, we'll get back to you, because they had another call come in, which was more important. And but he called me back about 11:30 at night, because by then I was going, when the hell are they going to come back out? And I was willing to file a complaint against them. I was brave enough to do that, but I got a problem with, I'm afraid of the property owners.
Thank you. Raymond Jim, followed by Rita Espinosa.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Raymond Jimenez, and I represent Visión y Compromiso. We're an organization that works with the unhoused populations in San Bernardino. Our org and many others in the county are already working to connect unhoused people with healthcare, job opportunities, and other resources. I call on the board to work with organizations like ours to invest in proven solutions that help people move out of homelessness with dignity rather than pushing them further into the shadows. I'd like to remind you of what was engraved on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. I urge you to please do the American thing and put more resources for our unhoused brothers and sisters. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Rita Espinosa. All right, Rita, last chance. All right, that is our last request to speak that I have, so our meeting stands adjourned. Our next regularly scheduled Board of Supervisors meeting will be here in Chambers, 10 a.m. on September 23rd. Thank you very much.